Bob Iger spent $70 billion buying most of Fox. And what did Fox do? They turned right around and spent $440 million of those dollars on a little streaming service called Tubi. Well, it turns out all that money that Bob Iger spent on Disney Plus is now being trounced by the little Tubi that could. Tubi has just beat Disney Plus in the ratings. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is avid television watcher VashSky. Vash, what's your favorite TV show?
You know what? I have to think about that a little bit, but I have been watching some Shogun. Oh my, that is some good programming right there. Very expensive though.
I've heard that show is kind of like if you took Ghost of Tsushima, the video game, and then removed all the white people and then made a TV show out of it, you might get something like Shogun. I'm just joking. I haven't watched Shogun. I hear it's very good, though. Let's look at this tweet here from Anjali Sood, who is the CEO of Tubi. LA Times reported that May was Tubi's most watched month to date, and that according to Nielsen, we surpassed Disney Plus in viewers. YouTube is the only free ad-supported streaming platform with more viewers than Tubi. Plenty of work to do, but good validation of our strategy in an incredibly competitive market. I would agree with that. Vash, what's your take on that?
Oh, I would absolutely agree. This is an extremely competitive space with everybody and their mother essentially getting into this whole game right here. Well, Disney actually predicted this. Disney set out a plan to say, hey, look, listen, we're going to spend billions and billions of dollars. So that way, in 5-10 years, when there's only a couple streaming services, we're going to be one of the ones remaining. Little did they know that their revenue model maybe wasn't necessarily as fleshed out as, well, someone's like Tubi's. And honestly, I wouldn't have predicted it myself, to be quite frank. But now the results are so clear with how much of the hole that they're in.
Yeah, I would agree there. Disney basically spent a whole bunch of money in order to destroy linear TV. And what did Tubi do? They basically said, here, we're going to have a revolutionary model where we put sitcoms and shows that people are familiar with on a regular basis, and we organize them into not just on demand, but also channels that people can watch. And we will run ads against those channels. It was a completely revolutionary idea. No one had thought of this ever before. If you can't detect the sarcasm and dry sense of humor that I'm employing here, it's essentially just TV on the internet. You turn it on and they run ads against programming that you have chosen to watch. If you don't like the ads, well, sorry, you're going to have to find your content elsewhere, because it's the only way to watch Tubi, as opposed to Disney Plus, where they have to get your credit card number in order to pay them money, and doesn't seem to be working so well for them under that model.
Also, too, Tubi was, I have no way to confirm this outside of just my personal experience, but from what I remember a few years ago, when smart TVs started coming out, Tubi was one of those apps that you could get for a lot of these smart devices and so forth. So, this kind of propagation in that way to just say, hey, look, listen, here's some free content that you can get access to. That was a nice choice as well.
Yep, I would agree with that. But let's go to the article from the LA Times here. As streaming becomes more expensive, Tubi cashes in on the value of free. And I don't want to say that $440 million is not a lot of money. I would love to have $440 million. If someone wants to buy this channel for me for that much, I might just consider it and just walk away here and start my own other channel someplace else. Anyhow,
well, hang on. $440 million, Jonas. That gets you not one, but two acolytes. Think about that.
I love that, Vash. Thank you. Hey, that's Lauren Graham. That's not Anjali Sood. Anyway, she's on a TV show called The Z-Suite that's on Tubi. This by Stephen Battaglio, who's a staff writer over there at the LA Times. In the era of streamflation, it's a good time to be Tubi. Subscription prices for Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, and Peacock have crept up over the last year, and more consumers are turning to free ad-supported video-on-demand service owned by Foxcore. Nielsen data showed that May was Tubi's most watched month ever, with an average audience of 1 million viewers, up 46% from a year ago. This is saying that 1 million viewers average audience is beating Disney Plus. That's a shame right there from the Disney side. The streamer edged out Disney Plus, which averaged 969,000 viewers. Tubi also easily beat NBC's Peacock, WBD's Max, and Paramount Global's Paramount Plus, while also topping free competitors such as Roku Channel and Pluto TV. Roku has a more complicated streaming business model here. Pluto TV obviously one of the more profitable segments of the Paramount streaming model, I would say. YouTube is the only free ad-supported streaming platform with more viewers than Tubi. Absolutely. And by the way, thank you guys for watching. Third quarter revenue for Tubi grew 22% year over year at a time when the advertising market was sluggish, according to Fox. Tubi continues to pull ahead from its ad-supported video-on-demand competition and post faster than expected growth. It sounds like they're actually profitable, which Disney Plus, we still don't have confirmation that Disney Plus is profitable. Why? Because Disney doesn't report those numbers. They report combined DTC, which also includes Hulu, which has almost double the viewership of a Disney. Also has ads on it, so it'll be up to Disney to see if that works long term. Vash, why is it that people watch Tubi but don't watch Disney Plus?
Well, for one thing, it's free content as opposed to Disney Plus. Even when they try to get you in there with those $2.99 deals or $1.99 deals, I don't know. It's still maybe a little bit too rich for a lot of people's blood. Also, too, Tubi has the content that people actually want to watch. I put in that acolyte comment for a reason, because it's like they have spent unbelievable amounts of money on content spend, and yet nobody wants to necessarily watch it, which is where Tubi is, hey, look, listen, we'll take your content on there. Right. Some old stuff, that's okay. It has an audience somewhere, and they put it on there.
And just to emphasize this for our audience right now, if you don't think The Acolyte is that big of a show, remember that it is the biggest premiere on Disney Plus right now. And it is also lesser than the premiere of Ahsoka that happened, I guess, last year. I'm starting to lose track of time here. Ahsoka was larger viewership numbers, and Acolyte is the biggest premiere for Disney Plus this year. And the only thing that's really giving it, and I'm not sure about the original slate here, Bluey might actually be getting pretty close to Acolyte numbers in premiere viewership. A family appropriate show. We don't want you watching that Star Wars stuff. That's you need an intimacy coordinator if you're filming a Star Wars show. Go look up what an intimacy coordinator is, and wonder how far Star Wars has wandered from George Lucas. Anyways, let's not focus too much there. The only other premieres this year were I'm going to say Percy Jackson had a little bit of carryover, I think, into the start of this year. Maybe Echo dropped the entire season in one day and still didn't get better viewership numbers than The Acolyte. And of course, X-Men 97, which was well received by people who watched it, despite being a little bit more controversial because of some issues with, let's say, aging up that content. Acolyte right here is the biggest thing on the platform in the 30% of the platform that is originals. Bluey accounting for 30% of the entire TV streaming for the entire platform right now. I don't know. It's just Disney Plus has nothing on it. And Disney, for the life of them, can't seem to make this thing profitable. Vash?
And remember, too, you got to think, in 2021, Disney did, of course, $30 billion that year towards content spend, most of it going to streaming. In 2022, they did the same exact thing. We don't even know what the numbers are for 2023 and 2024, but we've seen that they are dedicating huge amounts of money to try to get people not just tuning into the platform, but coming back for more. And those subs have kind of, they've had wild swings, let's say, of people, either subscribing to the platform or not subscribing to the platform. Meanwhile, Tubi, they just keep getting those ratings, and that's what really matters in an advertising revenue model that Disney, I think, is catching up on.
Right, and I'll just point this out. As far as Tubi goes, there's a very clear business model. They could make original programming. They could take that risk. That's fine. But essentially, all they have to say is that you get a percentage of the ads from running stuff on our platform, and they need to charge an appropriate amount for those ads, much in the same way that YouTube right now pays the people who make content on here. If it gets enough eyeballs, they get a percentage of the ad rate. YouTube's getting a better end of the deal on that, by the way, for those of you who don't understand how YouTube works. Disney Plus right now has two strategies that they're employing. One is cutting content, and the other is raising prices. That is the only way to make Disney Plus profitable at this point, because right now, even with ads, they're not getting people to sign up on the level that they need them to sign up. There are only that many cable subscriptions in the world that they can give away Disney Plus for free on, and then subsidize it from their bundling deals with the ISPs there in order to make that work. So
Well, now we know why Disney is so dead set on merging Disney Plus with Hulu right now, right?
that's right, because Hulu, that's the dirty secret here is Hulu is the closest to a profitable streaming platform out there outside of Netflix. And Netflix is doing just fine, maybe even a little bit overvalued on their stock price right now. No financial advice on this channel ever, but Hulu made more money on the ads than they did on the subscriptions on their ad-supported tier. They made more money on the ads than they did on the ad-free tier. By the way, that was something that was true from the very beginning. Ads are what makes the world go round. Okay, I'll also add this. Tubi, since I can use the word ad in multiple ways here, Tubi has more mobility from an ad standpoint because if viewership goes up, they can charge more for ads. With Disney Plus, they have to convince every single end user to pay them more money every single time if they want to try to raise those subscription rates. It's a much less flexible business model than they have over there at Tubi or even at Hulu. But it'll remain to be seen how Disney handles Hulu in the remaining months. Probably just going to say it. They're probably going to just take the name Disney and slap it on Hulu and see if it's still profitable in 10 years. So that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters down below. Have you been watching Tubi or have you been watching Disney Plus, like the niche audience that it usually gets? Let us know your thoughts on all of this situation in the comment section down below, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.